Welcome everyone, and we are opening our gathering under the BioRevolution with the small and created group. That's our second session we are doing. My name is Elif Damla Karakolcu. I am your host tonight, and I write the BioRevolution. It's a newsletter, and each issue I explain one biotechnological revolution from the different perspectives. One of them is scientific, market, and feature. So we have a chance to see one big topic from the different perspectives to understand how it will affect the world and our businesses. And on the other hand, my mission is make to biotech accessible, understandable, and investable. So I believe the future of biotech is built on Coopetition, which topic we will speak today. And this is a cooperation and a competition at the same time. I spend my days creating the spaces where scientists, investors, and startup founders can meet each other, and this place is one of those spaces. And I work as a communications director at Coopetiton, which is the world's leading alternative investment platform for early stage biotech and life science startups. And I led communications across 30 successful rounds that raised 40 million euros during my time at Coopetiton. And now I want to introduce the people in this room because every person here was chosen with intention. We have Aluk Ataoğlu, founder and CEO at Matrix Biotech, building the world's first commercial ELISA kits for biotherapy drug monitoring, working at the intersection of inflammation, metabolic disorders, and post-COVID autoimmunity research. Nera Kopon, she is a business development manager at Archivil Pharma. She led an IGM Foundation startup incubator for biotech founders across EMA and now helps a Barcelona-based biology manufacturer get clinical ready. And Melissa Van Kirk with us today, and she is a co-founder and CEO of Primary Research Partners, building in women's health and clinical research, and a strategic advisor working towards a future where women are equally represented in clinical trials. And we have Gökçe Gün, you can call her Gigi, and she is an investment analyst at V Venture Capital. She is MD by training, now evaluates life sciences and diagnostics deals from inside the VC ecosystem. And we have also a brilliant science communicator with us tonight, and Daniel Lutz, founder of Purple, a behavior-based communication and change strategist who helps people and organizations actually connect with their message. This is the room, and I'm glad you are all here. Thank you so much for coming. Today, I want to start with one question. Actually, we don't have any correct answer for this question, so I want your honest side and give your perspective and share with us. This is the question. Imagine you just made a significant discovery, a network connection, a funding signal, or a story that would genuinely advise biotech. Your instinct is to share it immediately or to protect it first. Which one you select? And after follow-up question is, what specifically will it take for you to share it?
My instinct is to share. If I meet someone in the ecosystem that excites me, what they're working on, usually there's someone else I have in mind to partner with them with or make an introduction. So my instinct is always my brain just turns to who can I connect this person to that's going to help them get to the next step in their journey. So that's for me.
I think I agree. I always try to share because I feel like connections that make two people of your network help each other. It only enlarges the network that you're part of, the community. So that's really great to see. But I would say sometimes I've kept a connection if I feel it's not the right timing.
First you asked the question, I actually understood it more like you found a discovery or you did something, and then my mind automatically goes to IP and trade secrets and are you safe with the data, or do you need some validation before to be ready to share it out, right? So it's always I understood it from that perspective, and then I thought okay, this, and when it's accomplished, then it's maybe easier to spread the word. But if it's a connection, I think it's always like better to like do it faster, and then like you spread it out, and then people connect each other, etc. But like I think depends on the context.
Yeah, it was both sides actually. So.
But it's also like sometimes some ideas needs to cultivate. Like you need to, bury them, and then they have to be like get ready to go out.
It depends on what you are looking for. For example, I have projects. I might share it, but share with who, and what do I want for that project? If you want me to share my company, I'm close to that. Sharing is good, but depends who share it, your project or whatever. But I don't feel mergers between companies. This is my thought. Okay, as you said, but I can be a project partner. We can build a project with another company. If needed, we can establish another company separate from that, and then we can grow there together.
It really depends. My instinct would be to share just because I have zero filter. But I have, not in the medical space, but earlier in my life, earlier in my career, I've shared with the wrong people and had ideas stolen. And so I'd be cautious about who I shared with and what I shared, but I think I would share it. One, because you need validation. Very, very few things can you do on your own. You can, but as you pointed out already, it takes a long time. And the older I get, the less luxury I have of time. And the speed of everything now, especially with AI, honestly, if you don't share it and find a path forward, there's a very good chance, if it's a good idea, someone else will come out with it in 3 years. So I think the speed of everything now is a factor that didn't exist in the same way 5 years ago.
Actually, why we are here is for that what you just described. It's exactly tension of the Coopetition framework is built for. Every idea you bring here, you share it with us. This is the part of this framework. One question here, under what conditions does sharing create more value than protecting? So when we came to this question and when we start to talk about it, we are going to step by step this Coopetition area. And Biotech has a collaboration problem that it keeps mistaking for a competition problem. And everyone here needs something different. And so when we look at all of them, I believe it's a good created table. I'm not saying because I did it, but so I believe it will be really good. On the other hand, when we do some collaboration or when we help to each other, in this framework, it's not like a recursive charity or something. You are sharing your stuff for where to cooperate and where to compete. So this is the gap, and this framework will fill it. You can see you have two papers on the table. One of them is an example which I prepared for you before and I just guess. So it's not true information you can see there. You can see just I guess something about you and I create for us. And the other one is the empty one which you can fill out here. So we can discuss. So we will have one more is real, what you believe and what you are living in. So I want to start with Melissa. What are you doing?
Okay.
And after we will start to build a conversation on that topic.
I launched a clinical trial site here in Barcelona. We focused on decentralized clinical trials, which gained a lot of popularity during COVID because the participants of clinical trials had a tough time making it to clinic to continue their assessments. So what happened is the industry pivoted and they started getting innovative about how to perform those assessments at home through telehealth, which has exploded, through home health care, and through wearables and at-home testing and diagnostics. That company was acquired by a company in the UK. And then I didn't know what I was going to do. And Women's health had always interested me for many reasons. I'm a female, but I also saw in clinical trials that women were not adequately represented in the data sets. Many of the drugs that have made it to market were mostly tested on men. The female body is complex, therefore it's quite...
Why you are looking at me?
I'm kind of looking at everyone. The first your decision.
Nervous crowd.
It was mostly tested on men, and women were excluded because our bodies are complex. We can get pregnant, and that carries risk. We breastfeed, that carries risk for the outcomes of the drugs.
We have 5 zones here. One is needs, shared stakes, non-negotiables, offers, and the middle of them, Coopetition. So step by step, I will explain to you what does it mean this space, and we will continue until the middle of them. So first zone is, this is not what you want, this is what you actually need to move forward. And the first honest act of Coopetition is admitting it's out loud. So I'm expecting you in general on your business what you need to make it forward. For needs, again according to Melissa's topic, I'm trying to look at from your perspectives and try to find the needs according to that topic. So for Haluk's side, I can say market access and visibility beyond his existing diagnostic niche. And for Gökçe, she can need a trusted clinical and scientific signal before deals go public. Nerea can need clinical ready partners and a stronger founder pipeline. And Melissa can need market that will actually check sex balance clinical data. And Danielle can need a real access to the science to communicate it honestly. According to our selected topic, I can guess your perspectives, it can be your needs. So I continue with the zone 2. It's the shared stakes. What will you lose if the problem doesn't get solved? And this is what makes cooperation rational, not sentimental. We need to understand, will we lose if we don't be in this competition? First, I will share mine and what I guess about us. According to our topic, our shared stake is if women's health research stays underfunded and undercommunicated, what will happen to your cases? Gökçe's fund misses a category before it becomes obvious. She has a potential to lose some deal. Nerea's manufacturer loses a feature biologist client. Haluk's diagnostics work stay sealed from the clinical trials that would validate it. Danielle loses a story worth telling. And Melissa's mission stall another cycle. So which I guess according to your works and with our topic which Melissa shared. Non-negotiables. So that means we will put our lead lines before working. So because after you start to work, it's so hard to say, okay, you need to stop here. The best way is to put lines first. So what will you never trade, no matter how good the corporate feels? This is the zone that makes the rest of the canvas trustworthy. So this is the place where we need to stop. What you can share, we will talk about it, but before we are putting our lines, what we cannot share with the others. So from my perspective, according to Melissa's topic, what can be your non-negotiables? For Haluk, Matrix Biotech's priority, assay methods stay protected. For Gökçe, she will not share deal terms or pipeline before close the deal. Neira will not share one client's manufacturing data with other. Melissa will not compromise trial integrity for faster funding. And Danielle will not publish a message the science doesn't actually support. The offer side, we have some needs, we have some things to lose if we don't make these needs to happen, and we have some non-negotiables. So we have the lines, what we can offer right now. So the last zone is offer. What you can put on the table that costs you little and creates real value for someone else. No charity, this is really important part, and strategic generosity. So this is what you can offer to others. So offer side, Danielle's offer is message clarity, turning dense science into language people act on. Gökçe's offer is a clinically literate read on deals and one warm introduction. Melissa's offer can be real cases for why women's health is investable, backed by data. Haluk's offer can be diagnostic valuation expertise and establish commercial track records. And Nerea's offer can be a clear pathway to clinical ready biologics manufacturing. So these all are Coopetition framework answer from my perspective, which I guess. So middle of it is the Coopetition. So when you check these four sides, you already seeing something almost super clear. So which type of competition you are seeing between each other? What you can do all together when we fill out these four topics with you. I'm going to share my idea. So we can focus on the women's health research with a credible clinical path, capital, and a story that actually lands, built together, owned individually. So everyone can have their parts, but we can build this women's health research all together in this table, from the capital to story and clinical path to everywhere. It was my perspective. And do you want to share your perspective?
Yeah, I think mine was quite similar. I wrote like maybe all together we could bring Haluk's innovation to market. Like we can manufacture it, you can do the clinical trials, you can bring some cash flow, you can build the story. By having it let's do it.
No?
Having it tested in like women to validate it also clinically, but then also use it to better understand women's biomarkers. So eventually it will also help future clinical trials. There we go. Give us money. We can.
Yeah, I mean, I think I would also like add the similar probably, because we have like very different lenses here and like a very diverse expertise and know-hows. So like they all complete each other for a 360 view, I would say. And for example, in your case, like we have multiple different approaches. I have more like maybe the investor approach and like investor network, and you have the more clinical trials approach, and you have the communication, and you have like the manufacturing maybe. So we can all combine it and like increase the value in the end of the day.
Do you want to continue? Thank you so much, by the way. I'm super happy.
I like all of your answers better, but I was coming from the side that we all bring very different perspectives. And so it's simply strategizing issues together. We're going to come up with a solution that wouldn't look the same in a silo or even in your organization, because we don't. It really takes stepping back, I think, and out of your normal environment to solve big problems. So that's where I see the collaboration.
And do you want to continue, Haluk?
Well, the thing is, this can be done. We must choose a project that can be accepted by all the partners of that project, and we can go for it. And why not? So I can come up with a product and build the project around it, can find cash flow, we can write grants, we can tell the story, we can include the females. Main area is biologics. Now I'm in the field of diagnosing it, but I can switch to producing biologics. There are some subjects that I want to go forward. So this is very interesting. Yeah.
Thank you.
I like when you say, why not?
Why not? Yes,
Exactly.
Well, you know,
Yes,
and
it's a great response.
that's why an entrepreneurial mindset is so interesting, because it could be that someone comes to you from this table with, you know, Melissa, with something particular, you go, actually, yeah, we could, with the expertise that we have in-house, we could develop something specifically for this. And Melissa's was a good example, because you're looking at a huge systemic issue, and it touches on, you know, how funding looks at projects, evaluate projects, 50% of the population, you know, the biases around language, diagnostics, you know, manufacturing. To have it tackled properly, you have to do it holistically. Otherwise, okay, you develop one thing, but then it never gets funded because it's a blind spot for them. Or, yeah, you get it funded, but none of the diagnostics work. So that was a good example. It was.
So do you want to share, or it was your?
That was it, basically.
Okay, perfect.
You know, because it actually requires the expertise around the table to really break through to make it successful in society.
Yeah.
You know, to solve this one, it's not just a matter of communication. It's not just a matter of producing the right stuff. It's not just a matter of even a different funding model. They have to work in concert to some degree. Coopetition.
Coopetition, yes. Thank you so much for coming here.
First, cooperating, and then look for competition.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Frenemies.
We need to be that much.
Frenemies, yes, I like that.
And I think the biotech needs to be all together to compare the others, because now AI is going super fast, so all funding is going to AI side. If we don't came together in biotech sides, we will not have that much access to that much money, which AI having or the other technologies are having. So I believe when we came more together, when we support each other more, exactly with our non-negotiables, so when we can grow this ecosystem and we can show what we are talking about. We are not a crazy scientist and saying something nobody understands. We have a good science communicators to help us to explain it, and we have good data to show what is the reality. And when we can explain these all the money, I believe we are just in general stuck on the money side, and other things are coming, but we need to make the market bigger. We need to trust each other and how we can work all together more and more to make our market bigger, to get interest. So I want to create this type of competition framework, because I'm working with the startups for a long time. When I was in Istanbul, we were doing this as a naturally. When we see some because it's not a big market, so the fund, we don't have that much venture to invest them. So we were trying to make them to work together to get this limited venture. But when I moved here, I saw it's continue, because if its market is bigger, it's not a huge. Plus, how much we can make it bigger, it's that much good, because we are touching the people, we are touching the health, we are touching the earth in the good way. So I think we need to have more place, but we can do this when we hug each other and work together. So I want to create this type of framework to understand how different shareholders can work together and make it this ecosystem bigger. So I will continue doing this with the other companies, other maybe incubators. I will check and I will try to make it more cultural things. When we see someone, we can automatically think like how we can do this. So which is good for us. And thank you so much. And thank you so much for watching us also. And now I'm closing.